Hey, I'm John Marshall, Suncoast NPI. We've had an amazing show so far today, and I know we're not going to be disappointed how we're going to finish this out. Bobby Paolini was with us last week, and people love this guy. They love his analogies, they love his story, and they just love who he is and what he brings to the table as a professional, but more so as even as a human being. And I'm delighted to have Mr. Paolini back on today as well. And like last week we kind of talked to like the home buyer, and I think this week we want to kind of tie in and talk specifically to the realtor and talk a little bit about your book. Is that cool? Let's do this.
Thank you.
Look at that.
It's already up on the board.
Look at that. Good talk, great sales. So you want to jump right into this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should. So what are some of the biggest problems that most realtors have today, Mr. Bobby Paolini?
I would say, especially if you're new, and I'm speaking to realtors, so if you're watching, it's either no income, you're just getting started, you're fearful, or where are you in the curve of things, right? The fear of a shifting market, or is it even possible to make money? But a lot of them who don't have either of those problems are more or less wanting better results.
Gotcha.
So we call those conversion rates. And I teach classes all the time where people are learning to do that. But most people who teach those classes, they practice reading scripts. And scripts don't do scripts. We have a big sign in our office that says scripts and then the Ghostbuster thing and right through it. Because yes, you don't want to practice on your clients. Yes, you want to be genuine, but there is a better, more delayed, gratifying way of doing it. It's internalizing it. I believe Abraham Lincoln was quoted saying, if I was given 6 hours to chop down a tree,
right,
I would take 4 hours sharpening my axe, right? So you don't have to, you want to hit the ground running, but that doesn't mean you have to run away from yourself and try to help a lot of people. And when you read a script, yeah, you might be getting that other agent, that other expert's axe,
right,
but you don't get the stone, you don't get the grind, you don't get it to refine it and keep sharpening it. So when your new realtors are using those scripts, you're finding you're not converting anything. It's because those tactics are dull. You don't own them. You haven't internalized them. It's even biblical. Jesus started his crusade with 3 words: you follow me. Could you imagine if we tried to sell a house with 3 words? So it's not the words, it's who's saying it. And the 55-38-7, I'll finish with that. 55% of all communication is visual, right? You're already kind of figuring out who I am just based on my bow tie. 38% is tempo and tonality, and only 7% is really based on the actual words we use. So good to know.
That's great to know. 55-38-7.
Boom.
And so drop the mic moment.
It's a fact.
So you are a rock star realtor. You are
Thank you.
An amazing author. You got a book, man. Good talk, great sales. Right?
I love it.
So how does your book help those agents avoid or overcome those problems?
The book itself is kind of like a coach in and of itself, and it has a sequence the way it reads. The first part is all about mindset and the big why for all of this. The second part is the daily internal actions and habits we can include and why we should do that in our lives. And then the third is the physical application, and no matter what industry you're in, how you can apply those principles to what you do. And principle is a key word there, because I don't teach closes like the hammer close, the honest close, the laughing close, the dominant close. They're principles, right? So if I'm asked what my experience is, it really doesn't matter. If all my choices are based on principles, they're going to be good forever. They're infinite. It's like what goes up must come down. Between the fall and the spring is the winter. There's nothing we can do to avoid it. So in time, in years ago, if we want to talk about experience, let's go back to the 70s, 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
Bell bottoms were really popular, very effective at that time. Today, probably not. Maybe in 5 years it'll come back, but literally, probably not today. So time in and of itself, experience doesn't do it. It's using those principles, and the book you can always reference over and over again.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you want to dive into it a little bit further, mainly about, so tell the people out there, not to give it all away, because you need to go buy it, right?
No, I'm actually going to try and give it away for free.
You're going to try giving it away for free?
As long as I can afford it.
All right. I want a signed copy.
That you're going to have to pay for.
All right. Good talk, great sales. What's it mainly about?
Well, it is a good talk. But I think I noted, we talked about this earlier, but my publisher says you want to be more specific. So he said, really what is that going to end up doing for them? So we thought of great sales, but it's not a book on selling. It doesn't teach you how to sell. In fact, I don't sell. I'm not good at it either. It's really about communication, building and cultivating relationships. And in that environment, opportunities to create sales will come abundantly. And my miracle story was even how I got involved with Network Professionals Incorporated, NPI. I was doing my thing, just praying, hoping for the best, putting one foot in front of the other. And an awesome man by the name of Richard Green, who is part of NPI, had helped me and my family with what he does for a living and as an attorney. And just for whatever reason, just thought to invite me to the Clearwater branch. And that is where understanding the power of relationships, cultivating and building them, that seed was planted, and
wow.
I am sky high now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thanks to NPI.
And I love Mr. Richard Green. He's the
man.
greenest law office in Clearwater.
He is, and I love him to death. Great guy, and give you the shirt off his back.
Absolutely, and that's the epitome of NPI members. So how about this? Bring it back into the realtor. What is one thing an agent can start doing right away to start getting better results?
That is I think my favorite part. Remember the Oprah Winfrey quote from a couple weeks ago? We are defined by the way we treat ourselves and others. So start within. Nature grows from within. It's not the root of a tree is not trying to grab the apple just yet.
Right.
The seed is planted in the fall and it has to survive that harsh winter, and it can grow in the spring. So with yourself is really where you want to start. Start with the books you read, the people you talk to, eat right, be healthy, take care of yourself,
right.
and do what you can with what you have. So if it's just being kind to everyone you meet, or if you give yourself that time to read a book and learn more and lift yourself up to the person you need to be to begin moving forward. And to me, I think it's really about removing your doubts and finding answers to your questions.
Yeah, that's cool. And I appreciate saying that. Actually, something we said last week was, I don't even know who actually came up with this quote. It was like, the difference between you today and 5 years from now, the books you read and the people you associate with. So it dovetails exactly with what you're saying. And, being around a lot of like-minded people, and you used the word abundance earlier, which I absolutely love the word abundance. And so, yeah, I appreciate your being every time. So you're very connected. Your skill set is quite high. So to some that are out there, it could be a little intimidating. Right? So they're like, hey, I want to lean in, but that guy Paolini, he's a friggin' star. So what if the agent that reads your book really doesn't have your skill level or your connections yet? What would you say to that?
Oh, I would love someone to ask me that question sincerely, because the answer is they do have it. That the key to success is not so much something that we're all born with, or something that is some miraculous thing that people are just so lucky to be able to do. It's like, oh my gosh, he's talking on camera, and how does he do it, and this and that. It's not about that. It's not about me. It's about delivering to the client. And my book is not teaching people how to sell. It's teaching people how to be themselves. And that is how you cultivate and build relationships. And that's how you have good talks. It's just basically the business of being nice, doing something for other people first without any need to get something back. I'm not that old. I've been married for 15 years. I've been with the same wonderful woman for almost 20 years. And it's the same principle that makes that work is the way business relationships work. And you just swap out love for compassion.
Yeah, that's well said. Well said. Very cool. I appreciate sharing that bit of wisdom. How about tying it into the Suncoast NPI? You hit it a little bit. You mind going further there? How Suncoast NPIs fit into your growth and your success?
Well, starting with Richard Green, who, if it wasn't for him just saying, hey, do you want to come to this little networking meeting? And because I was just getting into real estate. And who would have thought? But the biggest thing was what happened last Christmas. We had remodeled some things in our house, and my wife was hosting and throwing this huge Christmas party for friends and family. And literally, probably 2 weeks before Christmas, she decides that maybe we want to renovate the bathroom. So it's like, okay. 2 weeks left in the year. It's almost Christmas time. We're going to get a contractor. And if anyone's trying to, hire a contractor for anything at any time of the year,
right,
it's impossible. And unless you have 20 grand off the top, they're not going to return your call. But with Network Professionals Incorporated, it's all built on relationships. So the gratification is not by the one sale. When another professional is doing something for money, but for that other professional, they're doing it for future relationships, future opportunities, right? So they'll go above and beyond, and it's not about the almighty dollar in that instance. So I call it the Fred story. Fred is an awesome guy. He's with NPI, and I was in a bind. I called Fred. Fred, you're my contractor. I need a full bathroom remodel, and I need it in 5 days. He goes, oh my gosh, my books are filled. I don't know if I can do it, but I'll work it out and I'll really try. So he does. He calls me back and he says, I'll give it a go. Long story short, he's there working every day. Here it now is Christmas. It's like 2 days before Christmas Eve, and our party is literally the next day. And the bathroom is almost done, but not quite. What does Fred do? And I couldn't have paid enough money to get this and have this happen. Money would not have done it. Only relationships would do it. Like a couple hours into that day, I'm coming back to the house, and I walk in the bathroom, and there's 3 men in the bathroom.
We got 30 seconds, and let's go on.
Fred's son, Fred, and his dad.
Wow.
3 generations of Blakes in my bathroom, getting it done that day. And I said, why didn't you hire anyone else? He goes, because it's almost Christmas Eve. We wanted to be with family and take care of you.
Wow.
They finished the bathroom. We had a great event, and it couldn't have happened without the relationships with Network Professionals Incorporated.
And that is Suncoast NPI wrapped up, and that's the time for today. We're Suncoast NPI TV, and yeah, we're here to make money, but it's so much more than that. We invite you to come see us. Thank you, Bobby Paolini. Suncoast NPI, when we pull together,
we all win.